What's going on, everybody? Anthony here, Six Scale Mafia. I had Nate. He was right here. I swear to God, he was here. And now he's not. Nope, I'm kidding. He's here. What is up, dude? What's going on, man?
Yo, man. Bellinap is like, no, wait, who is this intruder? Who is intruding your stream today? Nah, he's not coming in today. He is not.
I know, here. Right? It only took like 2 years.
Dude.
Yeah, but you're here, man. So welcome, dude, to the channel, my man.
Yeah, I know. We've been trying to get together for quite a bit on your channel.
Yeah, man, quite a bit, dude. Quite a bit. My mic is messing up. There we go. Yeah. So okay, so it's okay. We had technical difficulties, but you're here, my man. You're here.
Yeah. Good to be here. Good to be here. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, what's up, everybody in the chat? Dude, there's so much chat going on, so apologies, guys, but we are here. I collect because it annoys my wife. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, most of you guys thought, yeah. No, he's here. Nate is here. It just took a little bit. So, you know, without going through everybody, welcome everybody in the chat. Of course, man, we are here. Nate, how are you doing, my man, today?
Well, I got my computer in, but I couldn't use it. So I need to run some tests, see everything's all right with it before I do an actual stream. So hopefully tomorrow I should be back to full operation with my actual computer. And so I don't have to do the whole phone thing anymore. But other than that, I ordered another hot toy, the Grogu for 25% off. Let's go!
Oh, nice! So you got the accessory kit with
the life size.
Oh, the life size. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
25% off, $300 out the door. Let's go!
Yeah, was it the Sideshow or the hot toy?
Sideshow hot toy. Sideshow site hot toys. It's 25% off right there, right now.
But it's the hot toy version, is what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had the Sideshow one for a while.
Okay, did you like it?
Yeah, it was cool. The only thing is like, you know, he's a static pose because it's like a statue, and he's looking upward.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? So I had him on the top shelf, and it just didn't, you know. It just didn't work.
I don't know, man. For me, I favored the Grogu from Hot Toys because every time I looked at the Sideshow version, he looked like malnourished. He hasn't been being fed. Like, Daddy Mando has not been a good dad as of late. Hasn't been bringing in the meals for him and everything. That's what I felt when I was looking. Oh, poor little baby, man. Like, he needs to give my boy a sandwich. Give my boy a Big Mac or something. Dear God.
That's right, man. The victimizer.
Victimizer, yes, of course. Yeah. I am the victimizer. I have survived. Okay, don't worry. I'm here, guys. I'm here.
You have, my man. I didn't really know what to talk about today, guys. So I basically, you know, as the title suggests, is why do we collect, right? So I put actually a poll in the chat, bro, because, you know, we were waiting for you forever.
I know.
No, it's all good. But I asked, you know, was it nostalgia, or you bored, or you like obsessed over it, or is it therapeutic? And it seems like most people are geared towards more than nostalgia and therapeutic, man, which I thought was interesting because I feel that way sometimes for me as well. It is almost some form of therapy, man, you know, for me, you know, with nostalgia too, it's like a mix, but it's relaxing. For me, well, most of the time it's relaxing, unless, you know, you're a content creator, then sometimes it's a little, you know, stressful. But
yeah, some people they use it for like it. I feel like as long as you're not hurting anybody, you collect your way at that point. Rule number 3 in Nate's rules: collect your way at that point. As long as you're not hurting anybody in the process, you can make money off collecting. It doesn't matter at that point. As long as you're having fun and you're not hurting anybody in the process, I think. You know, just do what you want to do.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. But, you know, really it's more about you and me as to like what we're into, right? Like, we talk with everybody in the community, right? Make a poll and all that, but, and I'll let you go first on it, but I mean, what made you start? Why? You know what I mean? What made you really get into? Yeah. Happens
So,
somewhere.
so I've always been a collector since I was a kid. Like my dad got me into collecting since I was just a little 𝗕𝗙𝗎𝗍. You know what I mean? Like 3-year-old little 𝗕𝗙𝗎𝗍 running around with Ninja Turtle toys, Star Wars toys, the works. I had my own Millennium Falcon, my own X-wing, playing the whole movies scenarios, like playing the Return of the Jedi and just reenacting the moments from the films. You know, I used to do that all the time with my chocolate milk and my Oreos and stuff.
Hell yeah.
So I feel that for me, right, it's just a gateway to my childhood. Because if I lose that, I don't know who I would be without it. You know? As like I don't think I'd be the 𝗕𝗙𝗎𝗍 I am today if I let go of that.
That shit's deep, bro. Because it is like I never really thought about it in the way you just described it, right? If you lose that part of your childhood, you know, you can become you can get in some dark places, you know?
Yeah. Well, we're not sure what the future may bring, but it does bring me happiness. It does bring me joy just to know that I collect. I enjoy the IPs that I collect. I enjoy these figures. Hot Toys brings me that joy, brings me that hope that I can continue on enjoying this hobby. I don't have to worry about the negatives of the world or the craziness of what's going on. It's also an escape as well.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I don't know how many times myself, well, we're also content creators, right? But there's times where, the camera is off, right? We're not always here 24/7. And a lot of those times, I mean, I may not be, on the carpet, playing with my figures in that sense nowadays, but there's always something about it, like a part of my life in some way, right? Like whether I want to, say, hey, I want to take some photos today, and do some different posing and then, take some shots or maybe do some videos on it. It's not even out of boredom, right? It just feels like, for me anyway, like I'll get this feeling. And so I'm like, you know what? I want to mess with that right there. This, whatever figure, and just kind of spend the day with it. And like I said, take photos, do stuff like that. I feel like if you lose that, then yeah, I think you're right. Cause I've been down that road in the back in the day, man. So it's like, it gives you I wouldn't say it's like a sense of purpose, but it fills some kind of void though, I would think.
Yeah. No, it does feel that type of void. Yeah. No, you're right. Like I think we all have our dark pasts, or our more than say a void that needs to be filled, right? Whether it's a hobby or it's love from a certain individual, that we find our ways to try and travel through this game we call life at that point. And just this hobby or these collecting habits, it really does fill that void that you're talking about. Because I do love these figures. I do love collecting. I do love being involved with the community to see what the world is like, collecting wise. Because not many people collect, right? And they don't have like this escape with the community. Like they just collect, and like there's people out there don't even know that there is a community out there. Like I be hearing it all the time. Like new collectors coming in, they've been collecting for years, and they didn't know there was a community like this. So you also want to try and find like-minded individuals to share that passion with, because sometimes you feel, even though you do collect, you do sometimes feel lonely sometimes, right? Because you do want to share that passion with somebody, and that's where the community comes into play. And I feel that it's just a great process there, just to enjoy it even more. than just collecting. You taking it over. It's pretty much becoming part of your life, part of your family at that point.
Dude, that's a huge thing too. Like that's a whole nother. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's another variable, at least in our eyes, and even so for the community in itself, right? Because again, we're also on another area too, because we're content creators, but prior to that, right? Like you're saying, it's this community that you end up getting really close to over time, right? Like you said, like a lot of people just collect. Like I was one of them, right? I'm sure we all were a collector in some way or another. And then you're like, wow, there's other people out there, that collect too. And with the world we live in now, with everybody being able to be connected to one another, it's like we didn't have that growing up, right? Like growing up, you were like, oh, I might like, these G.I. Joes or whatever, or Thundercats or Star Wars, and like nobody around you, or maybe some, were into it, but you still kind of had that.
I feel you on that. I feel you on that because when growing up, I always felt like I was not part of the team at school. Like everybody was into either certain aspects of their life that did not pertain to lore or geek culture. Everybody was trying to grow up so fast. Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I was never part of that. Never felt I was a part of that. Even though like I always wanted to, but then again, you're holding on to the past. Kind of like when Kylo's like, no, just let go. I'm like, I don't want to let go. Right. I don't want to.
No, I get that. I mean, look at CT603. So my introduction to 6th Scale and the community was through Nate and Geeking Out. I blame them. I'm here to stay. So you've made an impact on people as well, my friend. And you're right, though. It's like in school and things of that nature. It's funny because, in my day, and I'm going to sound old, but, in my day, everything that I've liked since I was a kid, whether it was Star Wars, it was comics, it was Star Trek, all that was nerdy stuff, bro. Like, all of that was nerdy stuff. So, like, if you were into all that, or, I like Dungeons and Dragons, I love all this shit. And, people be like, oh, you fucking nerds. You know what I mean? Like, you were almost like an outcast in a way. So I think what a lot of people did, or at least I know what I did, was like that further isolated me in some respects. And then also made me more rebellious in other ways, right? Because you're like, wow, okay, I guess I'm alone in this, in this endeavor, of things that I like. And nowadays it's like, it's cool to be into the Marvel and the movies and all this stuff.
Be something to be with, because the thing is, we humans are very, what's going on for I forgot the phrase they call it, but we want to be a part of something. We always want to be a part of something within the community, no matter what it is, as long as you have a passion for it. We want to share that. I forgot that mentality. I
think humans in nature are lean more towards tribalism.
There you go. There you go. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's
I think
the word
that's
I'm looking at. Very social. C233 social. Yes. Social tribalism. And I know the word tribalism is used negative these days, but use it properly. You do garner this brotherly love, like this family that you create.
I mean that's why people would join gangs and stuff. It's the same. It's in our DNA. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but the reasoning behind it, right? You have that sense of community and family amongst a small group of individuals, because let's face it, the world is very large and very dangerous on your own, right? I mean, at the end of the day, let's bring it back to our primal instincts, right? I mean, so of course we want to be in a group that is like-minded, in any way possible.
We are all the victims. Yeah, of course. I am the victim. We're all the victims, especially with this freaking DeLorean game release. We're all the victims here, man.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I mean, how many are you getting of those?
2.
You gonna get 2?
Yeah, because I see in my display, my future display with a DeLorean, I don't want to keep on turning it from flight mode to ground mode or land mode. You know what I mean? So I want to keep one in land mode and want to keep on flight mode. It's a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I'm on the fence. I'm still getting one. I just don't know if I'm going to get two, right? Yes, my bot. Everybody's doing the quotes. I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah, bro. Lane, what's up, my man? He says,
don't believe that dude. Right there. Straight up lies right there.
No, he is. I know. He is. I know. But anyway. But no, I mean, that's interesting that we it's crazy because we never really talk about stuff like that, right? And then there's so much deep rooted stuff in the back of like why, right? We get into these things, why we enjoy collecting. I know a lot of it for me though also was that, as you mentioned, growing up and watching the things that you ended up loving, right? We end up, at least for me, I end up loving these things because whether it was a good place in my life at that point in time, or that you fall in love kind of like with the stories or the characters, right? It's just this escape. And if the writing's really good, and I'm not saying everything out there was Shakespeare by any means, but it was compelling enough to make you want to like watch over and over and kind of fall in love with this,
Exactly. And here's the thing. I've always been collecting since I was a kid, like I said. But I didn't start collecting Hot Toys, like getting to 1/6 until 2019. And what drove me to start was not Star Wars, was not DC. It was that endgame moment where Captain America and the whole fleet of his Avengers came through the freaking portal. And I was like, I need to have that display. I need to. And unfortunately, Star Wars was in a dark time back then, but Mandalorian brought it back, and I'm like, yes. And then I started collecting Hot Toys on Star Wars. Oh my god, man! and now I'm at 200 Hot Toys.
Yeah, you were probably sitting there watching Endgame in the theater, and when the portal scene showed up, you were just, I could hear it in your brain. You're like, oh shit, I need all that.
I need all that. No, everything in that display right there, man.
Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, I felt that way, coming back to that, like when Star Wars came out and stuff, for Hot Toys anyway.
I think that's the reason why we are collectors too, is that we want to recreate the moments that, not nostalgia-wise, but recreate the moments that, I guess it's nostalgia. Yeah, just recreate the moments that really hit you mentally and physically,
Oh, absolutely. And then there's always these like, see, this is what's cool, right? Because as you mentioned, like we end up finding out down the road that there's a community out there, right? Brings us back to that collective of sorts, right? And when I look at it, it's okay. For example, you've played a lot of video games. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat play a lot of video games.
I will say this real quick. Because of Hot Toys, I have sacrificed gaming.
I haven't played shit all year.
Yeah.
Well, last year anyway. I forget we're in 2023 now.
Yeah. I sacrificed gaming, man. I used to be an avid gaming collector. I used to buy every collector edition.
Since I was a kid,
that's what I said. I used to be a collector. I've always been a collector, but I've not gone back to gaming because of 1/6. And people are saying, "What have you sacrificed?" I've sacrificed gaming. Gaming was my passion.
Yeah, me too, man. I mean, I got a bunch of shit around me you can't even see. That's like collector's edition stuff from games and whatever's, But my point is like, so if you got into something and you played online, I don't know if if you got into like MMO games like World of Warcraft, or you played like Halo or Call of Duty or something regularly with like you end up making friends, is my point, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing. It turns into this tribalism thing that I'm talking about, where you're like, oh wow, now I must play because I have this group of friends that I get along with and we have fun and we play. It's almost the same way, I think, with collecting, right? It almost is hand in hand, where, at least for me anyway, and maybe for you as a content creator especially, is that like you start to get to know more and more people, and then you're in Facebook groups, you're in Discord servers, you're communicating with people, messaging back and forth. It's no longer it's still a collecting thing, but now you're like part of this group, right? So you almost feel like, oh, I can't just bail out. Not that you would want to, but you know what I'm saying? You're like, I have this community here, for better or worse sometimes, you know what I mean? It's interesting stuff, man. Real quick though, man, Ashley Chase, my dude with the $5 super chat, my man, he says, I love collecting Hot Toys, but yesterday I started up doing archery again, which is my passion, dude. That is badass, man.
That's good. Yeah.
That is hella cool, man. I actually did some archery a long time ago.
In a galaxy far away.
It was fun. Yeah, right. In a galaxy far away, man. No, it's cool, man. It's definitely cool.
I was gonna bring up, with the gaming, when the first Xbox first came out with the Xbox Live, right? Halo 2 was the talk of the town, and I remember I pretty much wanted to be part of that gaming multiplayer with the Halo 2 when it first came out, because the Xbox Live at the time was like $5 a month. Yeah. And I was like, I convinced my dad, hey, I want to get involved with this gaming with a lot of my friends playing Xbox Live and playing Halo 2, and then this whole it just pretty much marathoned, right? A domino effect for multiple games I was playing on Xbox. It was either strategy games, RTSs, the works. Modern Warfare 2. It was just straight up online, and you enjoyed, even we had our bad moments, we had our great moments, even though
Modern Warfare 2 lobbies.
Yo, dude,
people nowadays, they want to talk about be offended nowadays in 2023 or whatever. They should have gone and played Modern Warfare 2.
Yep. Modern Warfare 2 was glorious, man.
Hell yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 and Halo 2 were glorious, and Halo 3. Those were my top 3 games playing on Xbox Live. And Modern Warfare 2 had the freaking toxicity. Halo 2 had the MVP multiplayer action. Halo 3 had more of the community multiplayer experience, and I loved it all. I loved it all because I was part of something.
No, it's very, very true. I mean, like when I was playing, again, I'm with you. I've been playing stuff since back in the day, since my first Nintendo, but I remember I switched over to being a PC gamer like decades ago, right? And because I love strategy games, other games that you actually need a mouse and keyboard, didn't work back then. And I remember Medal of Honor. I loved the shit out of that. And then that all turned into Call of Duty. I remember when the first Call of Duty came out on PC, dude, it was like, we had dedicated servers. You can make custom servers and custom maps. And bro, you end up becoming into this community. Nowadays, it's all like matchmaking, right? There's no servers. Like you could click this server, bookmark it, and be like, I'm going to always join this server. And you play with the same people over and over and over. It was like, that's what I mean, right? It comes down to that. And then you start having fun with it. You're like,
ooh, Battlefield, SOCOM. Yeah. Oh, man, you're taking me back.
SOCOM was the shit. Yeah, dude.
Dude, no, Battlefield was my jam. Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3. Oh, my God. All those multiplayers, man. Battlefield 4 was my last one. And then after that, I just went, like I said, I stopped gaming for Hot Toys. So.
Yeah, I kind of did too. And it's really irking me because I like Modern Warfare 2019 when they rebooted it. And I was playing that for quite a while too, but I had to juggle that and my channel and what have you. And now the Modern Warfare 2 of the new stuff is out. And I'm like, I must stay away. I don't have time because I'm that type of guy too. I'm going to get back into it. And it's a lot of work to do what we do. As a
that's pretty cool. What Dardress said there. Half of the Hot Toys I have is because of Geeking Out and Nate.
Hey, look at that, man.
Wow. That's very surprising. That's surprising because all I do is just talk to you guys. That's all I want to do. Just talk to and be a part of something with you guys. That's all I do. If you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the advice I give, that means the world to me at that point. That means the world to me that you're able to enjoy the same passions I do,
Yeah. No, and that's how I feel too. But about Future, my bro, my guy, he says, guys, I need to charge my batteries. Tomorrow's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday!
Congratulations
for her. She's my biggest supporter in this
Which Hot Toys did you buy?
Journey. Right? So we'll see you soon, my man. Yeah, let us know. Mario, my dude. Battlefield 2 and 3 on PC was my jam way back in the day.
Dude, I still got clips of my sniping skills, bro. I still got clips of my sniping skills on my Xbox somewhere.
I have always been into editing and creating. Battlefield 2, I got some real lame, cheesy video that I made. For me and a couple of my friends as our little clan. I'm gonna have to find it. I know it's somewhere. I played the Battlefield 2 so much.
Like, I was so into Star Wars and Clone Wars that I made my own machinima 2-episode series on the Clone Wars Captain Fordo, Captain Rex. Yeah. And not Captain Rex and Captain Fordo adventures. I could never do episode 3 because my computer died when I was a kid. During the high school days. So I couldn't edit episode 3, so I could never do episode 3 for Halo Machinima. But yeah, I did 2 episodes of Star Wars, Captain Fordo and Captain Rex adventures. So
left everybody on a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I did. I actually did. It was a big, no, literally, it was a cliffhanger because the next episode was going to be the big ass army fight with Halo Wars, clips, and everything. It was going to be glorious.
Man, well, maybe one day you can bring it back.
Yeah, we'll see. I like how the Halo Forge is working now, working a lot better with Halo Infinity. So I might bring it back. We'll see if I ever have time, because I'm always buying Hot Toys now. So I'm always working overtime, always working to army build my figures. So when do I have the time to shoot that? So
no, I know. It's hard, and I have so many good ideas too that I want to get into, and then I'm just like, wow, there's not enough time in the world, right? Or in the day, it's just not enough, man. And and it's because we also do stuff like, see it, we are content creators on top of everything, so it's a lot, right? I mean, it's and I love what you do. I love your channel. I always, it's because you're always positive and having fun over there. You're kind of on your own little island. That's why I was like, yo, come over, cross the pond, Nate.
I know.
I know it's a 2-year journey, but you can eventually get to my channel. So
it was a 2-year journey, I think, right? I think it took 2 years to get over here.
Yeah, dude, you were doggy paddling, bro. It's like, come on.
I'll get there. Don't worry.
Right. No, it's fun though. It is. But it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and it's cool because there's so many people out there doing so many different things, but you always have that positive vibe going on over there. It's just fun, often silly, but in a good way, right? And it brings me, it's what you're talking about. It brings you back to that time of fun. And I feel like that's what it is every time.
And that's why I try to keep it that way. I know people like to ask if we could talk about in-art, but unfortunately, I don't have any skin in the game. I feel that if I'm going to talk about something, it's a potential that I'm going to pick up, or a figure I'm going to pick up, or a line I'm buying, to pretty much feel like I should give you advice or should give you a do or do not video on it. Because I'm not going to go and buy the in-art stuff, even though they look great. Hey, don't get me wrong. It looks freaking fantastic. The prototypes look gorgeous. And if they come out final productions like that, for those collectors that are getting into the game for the in-art, congratulations. You got some good pieces. But I can't tell you whether or not my advice to it, because I don't feel like I am suitable, because I'm not gonna buy an in-art figure. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like if I'm gonna advise you on in-art, I should go and buy a figure before
that's integrity right there. And I'm serious. I didn't mean to cut you off on that, but because that's exactly what it is. I get it. You're like, I don't know, I'm not buying this shit. So how am I gonna be able to tell you my opinions on it if I have no intentions of collecting it, right? It'd be something if I was to say, or if you were to ask me about these Marvel Legends, or all of a sudden I'm talking about this Marvel Legends stuff and I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm not gonna, or whatever, and I try giving you advice on that, I'm like, it's not even in my wheelhouse. So I get that. You just defer that at that point, because there's other people that are going to talk about it. We don't always have to talk about everything. especially if we're not into it. So I've always appreciate that, because that's what it is, right? I mean, if you're not into it, why bring it up?
What if NR starts making Star Wars figures? At that point, I'll let you know. At that point, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
If NR does a Rancor, okay, let's go.
Yeah, you're gonna get a rooted Rancor.
A rooted Rancor.
I mean, does it have hair? I guess little pieces. I don't know. Yeah, give him a little
throw wig in there.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. Here's some hair. I like them. I like what they're doing, but I totally get it. You're not into it right now, so it makes perfect sense. Rooted 𝗕𝗘𝗠𝗘. Hell yeah.
Rooted 𝗕𝗘𝗠𝗘. That'd be cool though. Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel for them, and I'm not going to talk too much on that, but I feel if they do, it's going to be a long time before they even have a license to do that. So, I look forward to seeing what they can do, but time will tell, right? Time will tell. Carlito, my man, one of my channel members, dude, what's good? He says, I've been collecting 1/6 since 2011. I discovered Geekin Out on YouTube in 2020 with the pandemic. Loved it. I wasn't active on streams until early 2021. Really glad I discovered the community.
Thank you, Carlito.
Yeah, my man. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy for me. I'm not gonna speak for you or anybody else out there, but it's crazy for me when I hear things exactly like that. Where you're like, hey, man, you've really made a difference or impacted me in somehow, or I appreciate you or what you're doing, and it's humbling, but it's also I don't know how to respond to that, right? Because I'm also there with you, with everybody. Like, we're one and the same in that respect. We may like things a little different, but there's still this one unifying constant, right? Is that we are collectors. So it is like, it's humbling, right? So I mean, I appreciate it all the time, man. Everybody's support. I know you do as well. It's wild. It's wild because we are collectors too. And I've always tried to, I like to keep my head to the ground, right? You never want to like get too inflated or,
exactly. That's why I keep telling people, right? That's why I keep telling people, right? Sorry to cut you off, but I thought I keep saying collectors, right? On my streams, I am just a collector from 2019. I started in 2019, even though I've been collecting for years on other IPs, other freaking companies. I only started Hot Toys 1/6 in 2019, right? Even though I do have 200 figures, I'm still a pretty much 1-year collector because I survived.
You survived, man. Yeah, dude.
I just survived.
Hell yeah. I feel like you're always positive, and you hold the record for the longest stream in the community.
That's true. It's still 24 hours. That's crazy. And you can't even watch it. You can't even watch it because YouTube it doesn't convert.
Oh, it didn't?
No, if you go past 12 hours stream, it won't convert into a video. It'll stay just non-existent. The thumbnail's still there, the video's still there, but you can't watch it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, you're a trooper, man. I couldn't do 24 hours, man. I couldn't do it.
That was crazy.
Slugger16 says, you two guys brought me into this and helped me through a lot and a big impact in my life, and I thank both you gentlemen. Well, my man, hat is off to you, my friend. Seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you, because and that's partly, that was another reason why I kind of got into this. I know it may sound weird, but like when I was watching, there wasn't very many people doing stuff. As you know, it almost seemed like an overnight sensation.
Yeah.
Where there's all these channels out there now within a collecting community. Right? And if we bring that bubble down a little bit lower, we just bring it into 6 scale, right? Because there's a huge community for 12 scale statues, all that, but bringing it back down to 6 scale, there wasn't a lot going on. And for me, it was just like, why I decided to do it was I felt like there wasn't really a place, kind of what you were talking about, what we were talking about, like, at the beginning. I didn't feel like there was a place that anybody could really go and kind of just talk about stuff.
Yeah.
You know, without being, you know, I don't know, either let down or excluded or, you know, any of that, right? Because whether it's, you know, political, religious, any of that stuff doesn't matter. Like, you know, you just want to have a fun time, have places for people to chill. I've met so many cool people, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, because of that, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah, I enjoy just being a part of it too, like being part of the growth of the community, being part of the experience, and as long as you're the viewers, the fans are able to watch and take their information, what they can, and help better themselves in the future. That's all I would need. That's all I would need to just keep on streaming or keep doing videos. You know, as long as you guys are there to absorb this information and use it to your liking. You know, like if it better your lives, it better your lives as well as collecting, better yourself, you know, spiritually and mentally. Yo, there you go.
Dude, I'm 100% with you. You know, it gives people an outlet. It gives myself an outlet. It gives everybody an outlet, right? And it gives everybody a sense of belonging. And the interesting thing is too, is that everybody out there who's a content creator, I think at some form or another brings their own unique elements to the table, right? And it's crazy because I don't remember who I was talking to the other day, but I know you can attest to it because you and I talk a lot. Believe it or not, guys, Nate and I know each other pretty well. We just never really hang out. But
yeah, we just talk on the phone. Like I'll be at work just chill. Like, yo, Bobby, you awake? Let's talk for like 4 hours. Let's go.
Yeah, so we you know, this isn't our first rodeo, just online kind of is, at least over here. But
yeah,
you know, there's times like I'll do some videos, I'll do some work, whatever on the channel, and then I'm out and I'm behind on like certain shows that I want to watch. Right, I still haven't seen the last season of Cobra Kai.
Me neither. Oh, good God.
Oh, yeah, see, me neither. I just haven't had time. One of my favorite shows of the past like while was The Expanse. I haven't watched the last season, and it's over. And I'm like, I read the books though before the shows came out, but that was like, man, I really gotta watch this damn. I gotta watch the last season.
Yeah.
But my point is like, because this community's grown so much, and there's so many different people with different perspectives. I don't watch everybody. I don't expect everybody to watch everybody. There's some people out there I can't stand. I'm sure there's people in the chat. There's people out there. Not everybody's for everybody, right? But there's a lot of people that I can relate to and gravitate to. So when I have like downtime or whatever, I'm having something to eat or I'm just chilling. Dude, I'm watching people. I'm watching you, you know. I watch, you know, all sort, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
so you end up doing that, and I'm like, I'm not watching any of the shows or movies because I feel like I'm always engaged at some point, at some factor, some capacity, right?
Yeah. For me though, I need to do better to watch more, to be in the know. But I have you for that. But either way,
yeah.
But for me though, I rarely watch a lot of people. It's not because I don't want to. It's because I want to formulate my own opinion on certain figures, certain aspects. I don't want to be diluted by another streamer's opinion. Because I want to be more natural. I want to be open to you. That's pretty much what I feel about this figure, or how I feel about the certain aspects of the community and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be more genuine. I want to be genuine. That's why I try to stay more genuine. Like, now after the stream, like after I'm done, after watching certain figures or what have you, and then I might dabble on streams I haven't watched yet, because I already formulated my own opinion about it.
Right. Well, and you know, to a degree, I'm in the same boat, but it was more for when I was doing figure reviews. Now I kind of stopped doing those because honestly, like, you know, it's not that I don't want to do them, but I'm not. The whole back thing of what was going on with the T-dubs and this and that, and then Sideshow doing their thing and starting to do these day zero unboxings, I kind of feel like it took the steam out of the room, right, as a reviewer. And I applaud people who are still doing it, like Dante, man of hot collectibles. Like he's still putting out badass reviews. But even then, and Dante is my boy. But even then, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna watch your stuff yet because I'm getting that figure, you know, and I want to do my review, and I don't. So I understand what you're saying. I didn't watch people for that reason because I didn't want to just, you know, subconsciously have them, you know, maybe sway my opinion or have some kind of bias that I didn't even really realize, right? Because if I watched, you know, if I watched Dante or three people like unbox Bo-Katan and they all gave their thoughts on it, well, now I'm being subjected to all their thoughts. I can hear them, right? I'm hearing all their opinions, and then I go to do my review. It's not going to be completely objective on my end because I'm going to feel like there was these influences in my head. Oh,
the influencers, right?
In a sense, like, you know, oh, he really didn't like the head, you know, and then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, man, this head does kind of suck or whatever, because I've had this, you know, so that's how I was always that. I was like, I'll watch it later, but when I'm doing my vids, I gotta kind of like go in this meditation mode, you know, where I'm like, I shut down from everybody else. So I get that. It's a little difficult to, you know, watch everybody because then you may not form your own opinion at that point.
Yeah. And I also feel like at the end of the day, you collect your way. You don't have to have anybody else tell you otherwise how you want to collect. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I think people tend to use that as their driving force to collect. Like, oh my God, Nate is getting like 3 DeLoreans. I want to get 3 DeLoreans too. I'm like, wait a minute, you want to calm down now. You know, just slow down, slow your roll. Like, I love army building, okay? That's one of my passions, especially with troopers, right? But at the end of the day, you're sacrificing a figure. Like, if I have 5 504s, which I do, I sacrifice 3 figures. Like, I could have just got 2 501st and called it a day, but no, I got 3 more. That's 3 figures that could have taken that slot than the 3 501st. You know what I'm saying? That could have been 3 other figures. That puts me now in a longer timeline to go and pick up the other figures that should have been on those 3 slots. But no, I decided I want to get 3 more for my 5, which I'm also working on getting my 6th one. So I'll be having 6 501st, and not only that, getting 2 more from the Kenobi show. I'm here like, do I need to? For me anyway, it's a need for me. Okay, but for other collectors, just make sure to think it through. All right.
Well, you have to. No, go ahead.
No, I'm done.
Oh no, I'm saying you're absolutely right. Mario says, all I heard was this head sucks. Well, try harder, bro. So, no, it is, right? Because, dude, for example, you're like, hey, dude, I want all these clones. And maybe you have all these clones and you get excited about it and you show everybody. And then other people are like, wow, that looks really cool. I need to get all those too. And then you're really like, no, you really don't, right? Because some people, like what you're saying, you really should only collect what you really gravitate to, right? Not everybody's going to buy a dozen clones, for example.
Yeah.
Even though it may look amazing in a display, and then people are like, yeah, man, that actually is pretty dope. I want to do that. And then they end up regretting it because they're just kind of like, I really enjoy what he did. Maybe I want that. And then they find out maybe that wasn't such a good idea for them. Like, there's people like that. It happens to, right?
It does happen. That's why we see a lot of collectors either dropping off like, this wasn't a game for me. You burn yourself out that way. You burn yourself out, and then you try to sell a figure for the price you bought it for, and you realize you only selling it for half, and you pretty much lost money right there.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that is a. I'll explain that here in a sec. But AJ says your reviews of Rey is one of the main reasons I picked Rey up, though. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. He said that review was fantastic. I saw the figure differently. Helped a ton back then. Listen, I like doing reviews, bro. I do. But it's, between that and work, the channel's a lot. It really is. And I'm not saying that to cry or sympathy, but like, Nate, it's a lot of work. And then and I don't know how often I'm grabbing figures in a row to keep that steam going. Where I'm like, all right, let me do a review on everything. And then I got work figures to do. And then I'm like, but there are some things I'm going to do. Like when the Joker gets here, my rooted in art Joker, the 2-pack. I think I
Yeah,
told you
I
that.
really want to see that review. I really want to see if it's up to snuff for $1,000. So,
oh, I'm gonna show my receipt.
Yeah,
straight up. Everybody's gonna see what I paid for it, because I don't mess around. You know, anybody who knows me knows. I'm like, this is what I paid. Is it worth what I paid? Right? No sponsorship, no nothing. You know, that's out of my pocket, bro. I paid like $1,100 basically. You know, I still don't know what the shipping is yet, but I did get it from Spec Fiction.
Pretty much paid a Hulkbuster. So I want to see that review. I want to see if does the Hulkbuster price merit the quality that you're getting. So
right, that's kind of where I'm at now with that. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to it. You know, I'm really looking forward to it. So, I lost my train of thought on what you were saying there, though. But it has to do with shit, bro. I lost it. Because I read.
Wait, we're talking about Ray, or were we talking about Ray? How reviews influence collectors to buy a figure or what have you?
Yeah. Because there's a thing where, like, when I did my reviews, or even when I do my live streams, right? When I have Mario on, Brother Cousins, everybody else, I get excited. I think we all get excited, right? Because that's part of the fun. Like you mentioned, you don't want to lose that spark of fun. So what happened? I mean, okay, like last night, for example, the DeLorean came out. I did a stream on it. I'm giddy as like a school kid, right? Because it's something I really want. And I'm just kind of drooling over this thing right now. And I know excitement can be infectious, but then, I don't want people to think like, oh man, look how stoked he is about this. I need to go get it. I want to show my excitement of a figure or, some type of collectible, but it's never to be used as, I don't even want to say like a weapon, but as like a tool to get somebody else to buy it. Does that make sense? Like,
well, one of my Nate's rules, I know CT603 loves to drop them, but rule number 99 of Nate's rules, right? Strength and intelligence are weapons. You got to use that to protect those that are in need, not to use it and use it against them, right? Never be a bully. Never be a bully. As long as you use it to protect those in need, to help those to grow themselves, I think you're doing the right thing. You're in the right direction.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because use your strength, your intelligence to help others.
And that's kind of why I started doing my thing too. Because I was like, wow, let's have a place where you can offer advice or a place for people to commune to, right? Everybody's chatting, having a good time, whether it's in my Facebook group, your Facebook group, or either of our channels, or Instagram. It's you see a lot of familiar faces over time, right? You build a community of sorts within the community. We all have our own like dedicated people, but then you also have the general pool of people that watch everything or mostly everything, right?
And that's why I don't want to go negative with this, but that's why I feel that Toys Wonderland, like they're being bullies at this point, with their tactics, and I'm not a fan of that. Like you have all this power to do right, but you just want to sway to do wrong for the community. I'm not a fan of that.
You know what? That's an interesting point of view. Really. Because you're right. It's like you have all of this power. You could do good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you could do so much good for it, and things would change, right? I think things would drastically change. Those who know me, those who follow me know I'm not a fan of them. So, I don't have to get too deep into it. Nate, obviously how our feelings are towards that. But I agree. The bully tactics and things like that. And it's not just them. There's a couple of people out there I don't watch because of those very reasons. The bully shit. So it's nice to have an inviting place for people, man, and just talk and share excitement. And I think at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. I know I was talking to who did I talk to? I said, how long are you going to be doing this for? And for me, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm going to keep going until, who knows? I mean, I'm in it anyway in the business, right? So I see myself doing this for quite a while, man.
Ever.
'Cause it's,
Yeah. So yeah, someone was I think Ash asked me on the stream before this, an hour ago, like the stream
really?
around 3 or something. He was asking, when is too much? When is a lot too much? Like when is your collecting too much? I'm like, I'm not there yet. At 200 Hot Toys, I'm still not. Well, 200 1/6 figures, like most of them is Hot Toys anyway. But yeah,
right.
I'm still gonna be in it. Like at 200, I won't stop. I'm still going.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, that's a problem too, though, right? Is like for me, I had so many figures. I got rid of some, as you guys know.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of did a little bit of a purge, but that's because I was over 200. And it's not that 200 is my limit. It's that 200 is my capacity right now for my living quarters and my display cabinets.
I got you.
Right, all combined. And you know, through work, we have a lot of figures coming out. We have a lot more coming this year. So in my head, I'm like, wow, I need room for X amount of figures just for work, not even for my own hobby, right? My own interests of Star Wars and, you know, Marvel Comics style, you know, that type of stuff. So it's weird when you get to that level, you know, where you're like, okay, I need to kind of mix things up a little bit, because if I had a big place, bro, then it would be, as far as collecting, I don't think it would. There's no cap, right?
There's no cap, right?
Right. I could go to 1,000 figures. It may take another 5 years, 10 years, but if space was provided and you've budgeted accordingly, you know, that's what I'm saying. I don't cap myself at like 60 figures or 80 or 100 figures just for the sake of having a cap, right? I do it because of space. That's really what it comes down to me. But hey, CT603, brother, man, thank you so much, man, for the $6.03 super chat. What has Nate sacrificed?
Well, I sacrificed gaming. I sacrificed actually having a relationship.
True story.
True story. Sacrificed my time, like overtime. Overtime at work was OT for the HT. I think that's about it. Yeah. That's pretty much what I sacrificed so far. Like, because if I was involved with somebody right now, I probably won't be as collecting as much at the moment, right?
Right.
But at the moment, I really don't need to be with anybody right now. Like, I enjoy collecting. I enjoy being with you guys. So, but if the opportunity comes, if it does happen somehow, some way, then probably. But I'll try and incorporate my collecting habits with my relationship at that point. But yeah.
Well, you have to have something like-minded. Like for me, I could never do it. And I don't mean that in a well, I don't know how I mean that exactly, but what I'm trying to say is, like, if I was to go down that path again, right? The individual has to appreciate and respect what you do and what you're about at the same time, right? So if you were like, hey, this is what I do. I'm a collector, I'm a YouTuber, whatever it is, you know, you can't just, like, I would never feel comfortable if somebody just came into my life all of a sudden was like, you can't do this. I don't want you, you know, I'd be like, what? I think you need to beat feet. You got to find gravel and travel, because this is who you know what I mean? It's who you are. And it goes both ways. You know, it goes both ways.
Because you don't like the collection, you don't like you.
Right, it's like exactly, bro. Carlito says, as collectors, we need to be responsible. Don't buy a figure that you don't have any interest in, because community hype and FOMO. Exactly, dude. That's what I'm trying to say. Use your access to the community wisely and to your benefit. See, that's smart. Exactly, brother. Like, there's options out there. There's so many platforms, whether it's YouTube channels, reviews, live streams, Facebook groups, Reddit forums, you know, collectors freaks forum, wherever, Reddit. There's so many avenues of information out there that you could use to your advantage, you know. That's why sometimes, like, I would do that as well. You know, you watch a few different people, hear different whether they're opinions or critiques of whatever, and then you can formulate your own.
Good. You know, I want to talk to you about that because I try to talk about this in the stream prior, right? What merits a collector, a veteran collector at that point, you know? Because we keep hearing all these streams, people collecting their way, right? But they barely have a collection, right? But all I hear is complaints on these collectors because they don't have a collection that rivals or even comes close to other viewers, right? So at that point, what merits a veteran collector? Like, is it the number of figures you have? Is it the number of years you've been involved with? Is the IP you enjoy, or the way you are with the community, the way you help the community? What merits that? You know, what holds value for your opinion?
You know, that's a good question, and I think it's a multifaceted answer in a way, right? Because what makes a veteran collector? Well, is it quantity? Do you have to have X amount of figures? I think there's some truth to that. Now, if you're talking about content creator, right? If you're talking about coming out there and speaking as if though you are an expert in, I guess, collecting, right? I think experience is definitely there, right? Like, you can't come in and be like, oh, I wish Hot Toys have made a Rocky, and be like, you know, they did. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to know the history, right? And it's okay sometimes to say, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's okay if people are like, you don't have to pretend like you know everything. So I think having the experience is definitely a thing. And I think there should be a number, but you can't really put a number on it, right? You can't be like, you must have at least 20 figures to be considered, right? It's weird. I think it's experience, but I think perception is reality. 9 times out of 10 in anything in this world, perception is reality. So if you come off as, you know, I don't have anything, I'm new to this game, you can kind of tell that I came out of recent times, or you can
1 year collector,
right, or physically see that I don't really have much. I'm not saying you have to show everything. You know, I got a whole nother room over there. That's where all my Star Wars is. There's no, you know, other than my throne room up here, all the OT is out in the other room. But it's a good question. It's really hard to say, right? Because you don't necessarily, you know, it's called I always said it's called YouTube for a reason, right? Everybody can do whatever they want. You know, it's their channels, it's our channels, your channel. But I don't know, man. I'm not trying to really dance around it either. I'm just trying to think, because like I said, it's multifaceted. Like, you can't necessarily put some arbitrary number out there as a condition or a prerequisite to be a veteran collector. I would say if you've been collecting something in some capacity most of your life, I think, you know, that has a factor to do with it. And I also think there's a certain level of skin in the game, right? Like in a literal sense of what you have accumulated. How long have you actually been buying? Were you know, do you have a lot of this old stuff? Or is your collection mostly Mandalorian / Endgame figures? So you don't know how certain things happened or how it feels, right? Yeah. To take a loss or be like, you and I talked about this. If you look at it and you factor in 200 figures, I'm just throwing out the number. And let's just say you said they were $200 a figure, which they're not. But if we average downward, right? What is that? That's times. That's $40,000.
Between $40,000 and $50,000 right there. Yeah.
And that's conservative. That's conservatively low, right? So you could be like, damn, bro, I got skin in the game. I got time and money invested.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I think there's a level of that somewhere, but I don't know. It's very hard to kind of like pinpoint it. I think you just watch people and you know, right?
You get the feeling, right? You get the feeling between the politician and the fighter, right?
Right.
There's the politician who says they walk the walk. Then you got the fighter who has been in the fight and is fighting along with you. That's why CT603 and Sean brought up some good points. Blood, sweat, tears. CT603 brought up that I want to listen to collectors that have been through the thick of it with them. You know, they're there with me in the trenches, fighting the good fight, trying to get these figures, right? That's why you gotta I can't say the freaking word because I'm freaking Spanglish. The difference between the politician and the fighter.
No, that's a good point. I guess that's a good point. I'm reading some of the chat here right now. Veteran collectors are those who have been in the hobby at least 5+ years and have enough figures to have experienced the different types and brands. I think, you know what, that's a good point too. I don't know about time frame. I mean, that's a decent time frame, but also what your second statement there, right? Different types and brands. I think that comes through to me more so, you know, like, for example, I have, you know, Enter-Bay figures. I have Exo 6 figures. I have Blitzway figures. I have Hot Toys. I've got third parties. I've got custom figures. You know, it's not only Star Wars, Marvel, and DC. You know, there is that. Then there's also NBA figures. There's also, you know, old movies, figures, one-offs and stuff. You know, I think that variety helps. But I also don't discredit somebody like that either, because you could take somebody like Ares, right? 6 scale Cantina. Shout out to Ares. He mostly collects Star Wars. Does that now mean that his knowledge or experience is less than somebody who's collected multiple properties? You see what I mean? So I was going to
bring that up too. Like he collects multiple scales, right? But before I started Hot Toys, you know, even though I'm in my 4 years now with Hot Toys, I had Funko Pops. I had Black Series. I had a whole bunch of vehicles. Like, dude, I was like I said, I've been collecting for years, and then collecting gaming collector editions and what have you.
Right.
So, I think the years, but also I feel that you got to have skin in the game as far as like your numbers are concerned. Like, how much have you spent into this hobby, especially with 1/6, in order to hold that, you know, help to hold that value, hold that weight in your opinion. Because if you come out and say that, yeah, you know what, this figure is going to be the greatest of all time, and then it does not come out the greatest of all time, then that hurts the legitimacy of your statements. You know,
I could see that. Or perhaps saying, yeah, this looks great, this or that, but I'm not gonna maybe pick it up. Or like if it's a consistency or something along those lines. I totally understand what you're saying, Commander Cook. Exactly. You know, it's a veteran who specializes in a specific line. So there are those. That's where the point is. I'm trying to look at it. It's like you can't. You can factor in multiple properties, but you can also factor in people who are specific in one property. I could be like same thing with Mario. Mario mostly has Star Wars.
It's not the mileage.
Well, you know, it's true, right? So with Mario, I can look at Mario as an example too and be like, you know what? I need to defer to Mario's judgment on this one if I have a question, because I know he'll likely have the answer as regarding any Star Wars Hot Toys, right? Him and I pretty much have everything original trilogy. I'm only missing like the Jawa Gonk 2-pack, but
I wish I picked that up, but at the time I hated what you got for it for the price. I thought that was ridiculous.
I was begrudged. I was like, I don't know, I need it, but I don't want to pay for it right now. And at the time I was picking up MCU stuff, so I think I was picking up you know, some Endgame or Infinity War shit at the same time. So I was like, well, I'll get it later, and I never did, right? But But that's my point. Like Mario is very specialized in. He has every goddamn sequel trilogy too. So you know what I mean?
Big Man brought up a good point here. Everyone starts somewhere. Welcome all collectors.
That's very true. As collectors, absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, that's one thing.
But then you got to. But there's a difference right there, right? There's the collector, and then there's the influencer, right? You just got to be careful how you get influenced, you know, as you're collecting, because you might get led into a path you do not want to continue following. You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want to like fall into a trap, and then you're like, damn it. If I had thought it through, I would not have been on this trap. You see?
Well, and I feel like we've all been victims to that at some point. And sometimes we are our own enemy too in that respect. Sometimes we psych ourselves into it, right? Mm-hmm. Like at the end of the day, you know, like Carlito was saying earlier, you know, I'm paraphrasing it off my own.
It's a trap
here, but but like at the end of the day, right? It's like you are responsible for you, right?
No. But here's the thing, though. You say that, right? You're responsible for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. But then I was on the Nobi stream. I was not. Wait, was I there? Was I there on the Nobi? No. I was there, but in the chat. No, I was there on the chat, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a collector there that said that you shouldn't say you're getting multiple Obi-Wan Kenobis because you're influencing other collectors that might get trapped. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Sorry, David. David bought my Harley Quinn, so the statement's funny.
Even though I am getting two, the average collector might not be able to afford getting two of that Kenobi, but I'm getting two because I have a plan. I have him on. I'm gonna have him on the Bark Speeder, and then I'm gonna have one where he's actually in the fight with the clones. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's fun. That's kind of to CT's point, right? Collector versus influencer. Exactly. Like I feel like, and I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody out there. I'm talking about me and you right now. It's just you and me.
Yeah.
I feel like you and me are collectors. You know, more so than the latter. You know, because I'm that way. Yeah. So I'm like, ooh, I want to do this. I want to play with this and set it up this way. And I have this vision of what I want to do. Not getting it just to get it because it's new and it came out, right? Or that I'm going to somehow profit off other people from it, right? I think that's a big that's the big difference.
Collect within your means. That's true. But the thing is, I think collectors, some people in the community just want to find a someone to blame, you know?
Right. That's funny, man.
That's yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys, I always say you guys do whatever you want to do in terms of Trek. You know, I'm always objective to it. But I am definitely a collector, man. And if I influence, which I hate that word because I feel like that word has a negative connotation. And I don't mean that as like a stigma, but what I mean that is off of experience. Like I feel like if there are people who are influencing, it's for ulterior motives. Right, it's for their gain, right, and only their gain, without the care or consideration of the customers and or viewers that participate in that endeavor, whatever capacity that is. You know, if they're selling shoes or hot toys, whatever. So I've always kind of like, I don't like that. So I'd hope that people don't think that that's how I am or you are, you know. Just for that reason, I enjoy this stuff at the end of the day. You know, if I'm like, oh, I can't wait for this figure, and then I turn off the camera, and then backstage I'm like, you know what, I don't give a shit about this figure. It's a piece of shit. I've heard stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? That's different. That's where there's a line there. I feel like we love collecting.
Collect your way at that point. You don't worry about me, or don't worry about Anthony if he's gonna collect his way or are gonna collect my way. If I'm gonna go get two Kenobis, I'm gonna get two Kenobis. So
even though I won't.
And though you won't,
I'm
gonna collect two Kenobis, and I shouldn't judge you for not collecting two Kenobis. And I read a comment earlier they mentioned that there are YouTubers out there that judge people for pre-ordering day one and not waiting for a discount, right? At the end of the day, collect your way. If you want to wait, if you want a day one pre-order, I've been day one pre-ordering 2022 pre-orders since the whole blue screen wait list fiascos throughout the year. So I don't mind doing that because I still get deals from 2020, 2021 figures. Like right now, I got 25% off on Grogu. $300 out the door on Grogu. So I'm still finding deals. Like don't worry about day one pre-order. As long as you day one pre-order within your means, so you don't get hit with a big ass payment towards the end of the year or towards the middle of the year, whenever these figures get released. As long as you do it responsibly, then you should be fine day one pre-ordering. You might not get a deal like you probably planned for it later on if it's in stock, but if it helps you mitigate the whole disaster that is the waitlist fiasco, then yeah, just day one pre-order and just take care of that. Okay, I'm good with that. I can move on to something else, work on something else elsewhere.
Well, it's interesting too, because this whole situation, what you just brought up, is that, how do I word this the right way? So last year, I think it was 2021. I think in 2021, I started saying, hey, listen, and you can check, right? You know, Nate, I made videos on it in like 2021. I was like, Sideshow is going to start having lower batches.
Yep.
Right. They're going to start having lower batches. Nobody believed me. I mean, I'd see comments, no, it's conspiracy. It's like, and here we are right now. Everybody's singing the same tune. Oh yeah, shit, look at this. But that's not my point. I'm not trying to gloat or take credit for anything. But what I'm trying to say is, at that time, but listen, I just want to say that at this time there was no reason to pre-order. I was one of those guys. Anybody who watches me or has been watching me for a while, I've told each and every one of you out there, I was like, don't pre-order. Now, I'm not trying to give, I don't mean that as a financial advice, right? But what I meant by that is like, you don't need to, because Sideshow was taking 6 months to get figures, right? After Hong Kong. And other people were buying figures either from Hong Kong or eventually on Sideshow and then selling them within a week or two, right? For the reasons we're talking about earlier, where maybe they just bought it and they're like, shit, you know what? I guess I don't like this after all. Or maybe, whatever reason they had to sell it. So it was always available. You could always get figures. Like there was a massive stock, like you mentioned, finding shit from that era still on, going on discounts. They mass produced all that shit. So it was like, there's really no need to pre-order as far as like a FOMO is what I was getting at. I'm like, you're not going to miss out because there's so much shit and it's going to hit discount, or it's going to be on sale on BSTs or eBay or somewhere much cheaper if you want to save some money, right? Now, once the shift started changing, Sideshow is retraining us how to think. It's learned behavior, right? So now it's like, oh, things are going waitlist, as we all know, we've seen, right? Things are going waitlist 6 months, a year before they're even in stock. They're picking up lower batches, as I said. That brings me back full circle. So now it's like you can't always sing the same song, right? That's the thing. When things evolve, as anything in life, you adapt or die, and that's what Sideshow's been doing. And because of what they're doing, it now reflects back to the community. Now we have to be consciously aware of what's going around, what's around our surroundings, right? Survive or die, right? So so nowadays it's different, and I get that some people, they collect a specific way, they're used to collecting a specific way. So they would just continue doing their pre-orders, and that's completely okay, right? Because every person collects a different way. It was just at that point in time, it was that you're not going to have a fear of missing out when there's just sitting in stock. I mean, Rex is still in stock, for God's sake. That's my example. Like, it's all of that stuff was an abundance. Now, things are much, much different, right? So, well, with that said, dude, I do have Hoth's Hometown Hero, my man, dude. Thank you so much, dude. $20 super chat, dude, my man. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, dude. Is there a mile point I'm now 30. I'm now 30 figures, 38 figures, and a diorama 1 year in 6 scale. That's a good chunk for a year, brother. I do my channel as a document to the hobby to help others. Like both of you have helped me. Appreciate that, man. Also hope this helps with your shipping on that DeLorean. Hey, man. Well, I appreciate it, dude, very much. And yeah,
dude, you're shipping like $35, so that's a good chunk out of that.
Actually, it is.
You only got $15 shipping now.
Surprisingly, yeah, it's not that bad from Sideshow, but dude, I appreciate all the support, man. Every time, dude. Definitely. That's good though. No, I mean, you got 36 figures, a diorama. You know,
my first year was 50, so you're on your way. Yeah,
man. Absolutely. You know, it's funny that you and I were talking about that, right? If Hot Toys drops about 90 figures a year, I'm just talking Hot Toys, we end up, on average, getting about half of those.
Yeah.
It's interesting, you know? And not everything. It's still a lot of figures, but not everything.
Still a lot of figures, yeah.
You know, because there's some stuff I just don't care for. I didn't pick up Johnny Silverhand, you know?
Yeah. Somebody said in the comments on the last stream, like, because I mapped it out, I collect about 50 figures a year, Hot Toys in general, right? Mm-hmm. And like, that's like a figure a week, my dude.
Oh, yeah. It kind of is, and that's the thing though. Like we're stuck in this cycle. I mentioned this before on another stream, you know, and we're in this constant state of like perpetuity, right? Because the Hot Toys will announce something, you have a year and a half wait time, but it's not like it just started, right? This has been going on forever. So, you know, Obi-Wan came out, right? Clone Wars Obi. People were like, yeah, badass. Rightly so. Oh, I don't want to wait a year and a half. Well, yeah, no, nobody wants to wait. But the point is, we forget there was shit that was announced a year ago. And sometimes we forget, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And so there's always something. That's my whole point. There's always something on the horizon that we may even forget about. Now, some of the stuff we've got our eyes on, you know, we're counting the days down, you know, year and a half or whatever. But there's a ton of shit you forget. And then all of a sudden it's like, the DeLorean's here. I forgot that was coming, or something, right? You know, so there's always something around the corner, and the horizon is infinite in this hobby. So, plus, if you don't have patience, bro, I mean, you need to have patience for Hot Toys, right?
Yeah, for me, Hot Toys is really hitting strong at the beginning of this year. If that means anything for what's to come this year, I mean, when do I have time for other third parties or what have you? You know, or for me, like, even if I was collecting InArt, at this point I would sacrifice InArt because there's so much involved with Hot Toys right now that I got ReZero I work on, I got Asmus stuff I work on. I dabble with Asmus here and there. The only thing I'm going to get from Asmus is that Gandalf the White and call it a day. But yeah, but InArt is dropping a lot of good stuff pre-order wise, and I'm like, right now I need to focus on my dreams. Right now I gotta focus on my 40th. I gotta focus on my 20th anniversaries.
Well, so you have a vision.
Yes, the vision.
Right.
Yeah,
that's something that Lael and I were talking about, right? You have to have this. Well, I don't know if you have to, but I feel like it's highly advisable as a collector to have a vision and just not randomly grabbing stuff willy-nilly, you know, for the sake of it. Try to have a roadmap of sorts to your collection, right? Oh, it's 2023. What are we going to be doing this year? How's whatever I'm looking into? For example, OG Mando, he's asking me if I'm more into 40th Jedi or Mando. Well, I think you know the answer to that. It's 40th Jedi. So, you know, if I have to choose, it's OT all the time. So you have to plan ahead.
So, yeah, the other thing too, how do I know if InArt is going to complete their lines? You know? They say they're going to come out with certain figures, right? Then what if happen? What if down the line they don't? Let's say we don't get that Legolas. I'm not saying I'm downing them. We're not going to get a Legolas pre-order. But what if that happens? Then okay, they skip that to get another figure out there, right? You know, as far as my concern is, right now, my loyalty right now is with Hot Toys with these 40th and 20th anniversary stuff that's popping up through 2023. I need to maintain that vision right now. And then after I'm done, maybe I'll dabble in other companies. But right now, 2023, that roadmap is definitely got to be 40th and 20th anniversary. And then, dabble on John Wick stuff here and there. But that's why I feel Hot Toys dropped that roadmap to remind people, hey, this is our plan for 2023. Are y'all prepared? Like, they're sending out the beacons, sending out the freaking flares out to collectors. Prepare yourselves, because 2022 was just a warm-up. 2023 is the war.
Yes. Sounds like a movie title for a sequel.
Yeah. This is the sequel.
It is, right? We're in it now, dude. We are in it, man. It is, dude, it's and you're right, because there's other stuff that you want to collect too, man. What's up, Don? Hell yeah, dude. The LV-426 beacons. Yeah, man. Alien, dude. It is like you, and if you're into Clone Wars and all that stuff, man, I mean, bro, it's an exciting but also frightening time right now as a collector. I feel like they got these 105s, dude, off the coast, just artillery bombarding us with whatever. Oh, you like Star Wars? Just like all properties firing, on all cylinders, and then here's some other stuff, and here's all this crazy Marvel stuff, and then they got little pea shooters shooting out some DC here and there, unfortunately. But you know what I mean? It's like there's so much coming. You can't possibly get all of it. So you really have to narrow that down. You have to have a game plan, a roadmap of sorts. I think that kind of brings me to what you were saying about being a veteran collector or something to that effect, right? That comes with history, like with experience, right? Whereas I am like, hey, we need to think this through. Some people don't necessarily think that through. I think that comes over time with experience, right? Oh, I've made mistakes, but I've learned from them, right? That's what makes you a veteran, right? Living through and experiencing things that you can come around and
survivor,
right, and you can be knowledgeable on that, and people will take you serious because they'll look at you and be like, hey, this guy's been through it. He knows. Like, how do we know? Well, we can tell by the way he's talking to us, right? It's, or for whatever reasons, if you share stuff, or, there's ways, right? Fire everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
That reminds me, Nobi. I know people find him arrogant. I know people don't enjoy everything he says, right? But he's been there, right? He knows a thing or two because he's done a thing or two. He's been there. He's been there in the trenches, right? And he's been there for years. Hell, he's one of the last survivor of that generation of collectors collecting. There's only a few left from that era, right? And he's still surviving to this day. And you can't. I'm not saying to agree with everything he says, right? You can watch me. You don't have to agree everything I say, okay? Because I'm out of my damn mind, okay?
Oh, dude, me and Zenobi, like, we disagree on a lot of shit.
Yes,
but I respect him, 100%. You know what I mean? I respect him. I consider him a friend, even though when I know he's wrong on certain things, or he's reaching, and sometimes we do that. I get that. But you have to, like you're saying, you still respect that. You know what I mean? He's got skin in the game. He's been around forever. Love him or hate him, right? I can appreciate that. On many levels. So that's different, right? That's definitely a thing. Having that tenure of sorts, right? You're like, hey, I've been around. All you need to do is look. Like, I've been around. So, there is that. Dude. That's a huge factor, I think, that a lot of people overlook sometimes. Figman, my dude, thank you so much, my friend. $20 super chat, dude. Thanks so much, brother. He says, yeah, exactly. He says, glad I'm able to catch a live stream. I'm on the East Coast. Thanks for that Christmas stream, brother. It meant a lot to me. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad the Christmas stream meant a lot, man. I was surprised. A lot of people were really, they enjoyed that. And I thought that, I thought that was great because I was alone too. And I thought, you know what? I'm not the only person. I can't be the only person alone on Christmas. So let's all hang out together for those who didn't have anybody or, were going on rough times, man. So I appreciate that very much.
Man, I know people were asking for a stream for Christmas. I was all over the place with work, man. There's no, like, this year has been wild for me. Not this year. 2022 has been wild with OT, right? And there's times where I'm like, I can't say no because not because I'm, losing out on money, but the fact that I gotta, the company I work for, I need to make sure that we are on the up and up on this shift. I don't want to leave them stranded.
Oh, of course, I get that. You have a responsibility to, as well. I mean, there's outside, there's stuff outside of the channel or out of the hobby, like, and I don't think
I always want to try and give my 100%. All right, even though it doesn't feel like I'm 100%, I always want to give that 100%, no matter what.
Of course. I never want to feel like I'm letting somebody down.
Yeah.
I think that's just who I am as a person in nature, right? Where I feel like you don't want to let people down. But if you were like, hey, listen, guys, I have something that has to be done. It's understandable and nobody should beat themselves up for it in that respect, right? I think people understand that. I mean, I had a thing. I wasn't feeling too great. I had to go to the hospital or something in October. I'm good. Thankfully, everything's good. Yeah. But I was on Saturday, and in my head, I was like, damn, bro, I'm not going to stream tonight. Yeah. I'm all sitting in the freaking ER, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not going to stream.
Yeah.
But, I didn't feel bad per se, but it was like you still kind of feel this, hey, there's a level of consistency or expectations that you start to develop over time, and you don't want to let people down, which I totally get. But when it comes to you or family or work, everybody understands that. Everybody understands, hey, I can't come on today. I need a break or whatever. It's not the end of the world, right? We can't beat ourselves up over stuff like that. Christmas Eve stream was amazing too. Helped brighten a harder holiday season. My man, that's what it's all about, dude. Exactly. HKS says, I don't care about how right your opinion is. If you're being a dick, I ain't listening. That's another thing. I mean, I get that too. I totally get that too.
Yeah. That's why people tend to hey, I don't blame y'all. Denobi does come out, tend to be coming out arrogant like that.
He didn't say Denobi. Is that a Freudian slip?
No.
I mean, he didn't name names.
No, but the thing is, how many people have left my stream when Denobi pops up? I'm like, oh my god, this dude. Have you seen my comments on my streams?
Yeah.
Because like that every time Denobi pops up on the stream, I hear all these comments on my chat, or not even my chat, but the video after. I'm like, oh my, here we go, all the Denobi hate.
He does bring a certain level of
that's why I say arrogance, right? He does put out that arrogance that then people see it as being a dick. I don't see it that way. I just see it as like he's just a survivor. He's a survivor and he's been there. So
yeah, and I get that. And again, he's a friend of mine. I consider him a friend of mine. But that's the thing. That's one of the things for me though, is that, and I don't know if it's just I'm from a different cloth or whatever it is, and that's not a disrespect to anybody else out there, but I feel like if you blacklisted me up, Sigs, hell yeah, dude. Oh man, if I had points like Denobi, you would have got him. You named names. The communist, that was Seinfeld. That's what I was thinking when you were like Denobi. I'm like, he didn't name names, man. But
I have a feeling it's Denobi though.
Right? I get it. I totally get it. I'm just
because we were talking about Denobi, and I was like, yeah, he comes out to that. I'm like, he's probably talking about Denobi.
Right. But I just mean like because even though like him and I don't get along with a lot of not get along, we have different opinions on things a lot. I appreciate that. Like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm from a different generation or whatever it is, but I think that's badass that like we are friends. Like we are friends, and even though I'm like, dude, I do not agree with you at all. Like vehemently oppose what you're saying, but we can have difference of opinions. I think that's kind of lacking these days. I really do. I'm like, you can, I like that. I like that you think much differently than I do on so many levels, but that's not going to, tarnish like a friendship, or I'm not going to be like, it's an us versus them kind of mentality. And I think that's
when Denobi drops
world.
truth bombs, I can see when people are getting pissed off about that, because the truth will set you free, but it'll royally piss you off. So
that's also true. That's also true.
People don't want to hear the truth. People want to hear, what's the word for? Like they're trying to find this escape, and if you bring truth into it, the escape gets diluted, right?
Sure. Oh, absolutely. That's the thing. That's a very interesting point. It's the Hollywood effect, right? It's that people want this picture to be painted. I'm not saying everybody. I'm saying humans in general, right? Like, it's like Han Solo, in A New Hope, when he gets on the intercom and he's like, oh, everything's fine here. Everything's good. It's like that. You want to have this picture. There's people out there that want to keep the fantasy alive. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, let's not, and I don't mean that again in a bad way either, but even like for you, for example, you're relatively or overwhelmingly positive all the time on your show, right?
Yeah.
There's no need to be bringing up this other stuff. That's not to say that you're there's a facade.
And that's why I like watching Denobi, right? Mm-hmm. Because he sees the side of the collecting community or collecting hobby that I do not see or bring up at times. And that's why, when people get mad when I'm like, why you let Denobi talk so much in your stream? I'm like, because I want to listen. I want to take up this information and see what he's seeing on the other side. Because my over positivity in the community, like sometimes I don't see something that he catches, Oh,
I love opposing viewpoints. I absolutely love them because I feel that, you need to be offended, I think, in life. And I don't mean it in the sensitive way, but I mean like you have to have difference of opinions. You have to have opposing viewpoints in order to learn from one another and come to respect one another in anything in life, right? I think that civil discourse is important. And if those words offend you, right, or challenge your belief or whatever your ideals are, that's good. It's okay. It's okay to not be in an echo chamber. It's okay to have that.
I brought that up before. Yeah.
So I'm all in with stuff like that. I don't mind. Because people say that to me too. Oh, why you hang out with this person? Why do you hang out with that person?
Yeah, I get that all the time too. Yeah.
I'm like, because they're fucking interesting. There's something different about them. There's something different about them that I find compelling. And I don't mind, and I don't get, it doesn't bother me. For me anyway. But that's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? You learn stuff. I learn stuff even from you, and we don't really have a differencing of opinion, but you know what I'm saying? Like you can learn from other people, or you can learn not to be that way from certain people, right? It's all experience, bro. It's all experience at the end of the day, dude. Positive or negative, you wrap that around together, and it gives you, I would not necessarily say wisdom, but a certain insight or a certain perspective on things that are different, right? Yeah. Like when I told you, I was like, hey man, there's a whole world of collecting out there. It's good to take the time to check other people out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I kept telling you. Remember we talked about this backstage, but I remember been saying that the whole toxicity between collectors and Hot Toys. Like there's a constant war between both companies because the community brings it up as a war. Like it's always like NART is challenging Hot Toys challenging NART, and it's constant war in the community because of that. And you joined up one of the Facebook pages, and you see that, you saw that. I'm like, dear God. So I feel like there's collectors out there that don't even know there's an other side to this whole war between NART and Hot Toys, which I'm like, there doesn't have to be a war. You know, we're all collecting, we're all having fun. Like everyone is winning at this point. There's different IPs, different companies putting out figures. As collectors, we're winning. It's now become like a console war situation where everyone has their own console war. Xbox is better. No, PS4. No, PC Master Race. So.
Look, to be fair, I've been saying PC Master Race for like 20 years. But I do it. I do it in jest, though. I do it in jest. I'm like goofing around. I'm like, oh, because my computer is like supreme. But it's a joke. It's not really like I'm deliberately being like, haha, you console scrubs or something like that. There's not that level of arrogance. But I see what you mean. There are people like that who will project it that way, right? And to your point, what people are saying, certain people or certain groups of people are saying in some of the Facebook groups, right? You're like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And so sometimes you need to be able to filter the bullshit out on your own sometimes, right? You can look at something or hear somebody and be like, nah, that's bullshit. But sometimes it's tricky, not gonna lie. But yeah, when I was reading through all those posts and stuff, I'm like, because I didn't believe either when you're like, oh, there's a ton of people out there saying it's like Hot Toys killer and this and this and that. And I'm like, no, how does that even work, bro? They got like 23 years in the game. They got Marvel, they got Star Wars. Like, you can't, but people are so intent, right? And I could see how in certain groups or certain, subsects of communities can breed some negativity, and that can kind of bleed over to you and your experience.
And it's unfortunate, but there is the dark side within the community. Even though we want to be part of something, we want to be part of the community. Like you said, you got to filter out the BS. Right. Because you don't want to be, pushed in to a fight that, one, you're not ready for, or you didn't want to be involved with to begin with.
Absolutely. No, right? You're like, how am I in this?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like I got wrapped into some shit just by association. It's like, hey, look, man, I'll talk to everybody, man. If you're interesting, you have some points of views. Exactly, Blackbird Tech, bro. People love drama. Unfortunately, it's best to ignore it. It is, and sometimes it's unavoidable.
I think Amir brought up a good question earlier. Yeah, Amir, quick question. Which company was it that had the 1/6 vehicles that's not Hot Toys? The Batmobile and others.
Oh, you're talking about Jazz Inc.?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
I think Jazz Inc. And then there was the Litway Ecto 1.
True. But if he's talking about like the Batmobile and stuff, he might let me know, Amir, if that sounds familiar.
I think that's Jazz Inc. I think he's talking about Jazz Inc.
All right. Well, speaking of, I believe Yost, who is Jazz Inc., will be on my show tomorrow.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna do an update. He hasn't been on in a while. So last time he was on, it was more of a one-on-one interview, pre-recorded. But this time we're gonna go live. So we will be live like we are right now. Talking about what he's doing, what's to come. Hopefully, he'll be able to answer some questions for people in the chat. Depending on if we have, time permitted, of course, or whatever. But yeah, look forward to that. If you guys are into that, I think we're gonna do that tomorrow. That's not set in stone tomorrow, but it should be. If not, it's definitely soon. So there is that. Bro, I don't know any chance if we get a 2.0 Ecto 1. It's unlikely. The only way is if
they finally come out with the brand new film or show they're working on for Ghostbusters, which is not still on the table, still working on it. They're trying to develop like kind of like a Marvel universe, but with Ghostbusters, like this connection to the this multiverse, but with Ghostbusters right now, either through shows or video, and then that's where we'll get the brand new Ecto-1. I'm fine with getting the Ecto-1 we have right now, the Afterlife. I'm cool with that right now. That's the one I'm going to have in my collection. Hopefully we'll get some figures to go with it. Maybe the older cast, Ghost Egon. That'd be nice. Force Ghost Egon. Let's go.
Hey, when are we get some Force Ghost Jedi?
Dude, Return of the Jedi. Let's go. 40th anniversary. Ghost. Let's go.
I mean, let's be real for a minute, though. I mean, would people buy a Force Ghost, Alec
Are you out of your damn mind? Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
How's that going to work, though? Are you going to articulate them? Are they going to be fighting, swinging their lightsabers as a Force Ghost? I mean, I think about it. I don't know how it would look. Like, would they be like a translucent, blue, glowy kind of? I'm just trying to see how I'm trying to think in my head how it would be practically as a figure. But I think you're right. I think I'm down. I think I'm down for that, dude, if they did it. But I don't know. I guess we would have to see it, right? Because you'd see the joints and everything, right? I mean, I don't know how they would do it.
I think it would be an actual figure like your Ben Kenobi you got, right? But then just with the fabric and the blue, I feel like kind of like a bluish tint to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind
like,
of bluish tint.
Listerine Jedi.
Yeah.
Your space says
Listerine Jedi. Listerine Jedi. Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, it would be.
Charlie
I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there, I guess.
Translucent plastic with LED light through the center from the base.
That could maybe work. Yeah, they would have to light up. Dude. You're absolutely right. They would be kind of cool. It could be clear though. I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one. But yeah, definitely. Master Imway, what's good, my man? Well, light up feature for sure. I guess we'll see when that happens. I'm just excited we're getting 40th Jedi.
Yeah. 40th anniversary stuff.
On a lighter note, you know what I mean? That's the collectors in us, bro. Like, I am going to be. I'm all in. I don't know if they put out 5 figures. I don't know if they put out 15 figures. Whatever number they put out, that's 40th Return of the Jedi, is the number I'm acquiring.
I think we're probably going to get about 10 figures from Return of the Jedi, like brand new. I think we're going to get 10 of those because if it's anything like the Attack of the Clones, right? Hype. I think we got about 10 figures for the Attack of the Clones together with the Clone Wars stuff.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
Right?
9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see that same hype before Return of the Jedi.
Man, I hope so. Because Empire 40th was weak.
Well, unfortunately, I think 40th anniversary Return. I got Return on my head. And 40th Empire got excommunicado because of the time it started, which was
just due to the lockdown at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the reason why. Because a lot of companies got hurt during the pandemic and the lockdowns. There's nobody likes to bring up these toy companies that freaking died out during
That's true, though. That's
the
not
pandemic.
Wrong. That's not wrong. I mean, a lot of mom and pops, big companies. I mean, everybody was affected. There was a lot of people, unfortunately, that are no longer in business, because of this. So that could be a possibility. That definitely can be a possibility. But I hope we get it good. S Beam says, "What's the one figure you hope to see from 40th?" That's a good question. Honestly, I want an Endor Han. To be honest with you, because believe it or not, Nate, and I'm sure we actually have quite a bit of Return of the Jedi already.
Yeah. I
mean, I would argue we have more Return of the Jedi than we do Empire Strikes Back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think there. There's not, in comparison. We got Royal Guards. We have Leia and Wicket. We have the Emperor. We have a couple Lukes. We have the Stormtrooper.
Wedge Antilles. I was going to say Han. But Wen Chantilly, I would like Wen Chantilly because I want to create my own kit bash of Luke Skywalker as Red 5 standing by.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
But I'll have like 2 wedges and buy a third one so I can kit bash that third one into Red 5.
I would like that. That would be cool. Royal Guards would be cool, but I think with Royal Guards, I would actually be okay if they just straight reissued them. I don't know if you guys can see, they're kind of above me right here with the throne room. I know the camera's not quite high enough, but
yeah,
those 2 red things are Royal Guards. I don't think they need a 2.0. I think if you just straight branded them as a reissue, I don't see how, because their bodies are great. They just have the red cloth over them, but when you move the robe off, there's a full body under there, fully clothed. That's highly posable. So
let me mention this real quick. There's no 2 wedges. Like, there's multiple wedges, but throughout the trilogy, there's the New Hope wedge, there's the Empire wedge. We're talking about the Return of the Jedi wedge. There was only one look he had, was his unhelmeted look and his helmeted look. That's it. There's no other clothes he wore.
Right. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I think if they just straight labeled that as a reissue, that would be great for people. I don't mind
a reissue for Royal Guards. I don't mind that. It's a good set. Like, I have them. I got 2 of them for my Emperor. So.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that would be okay to do. But again, I just don't see it as a 2.0 because I don't see what they can improve. They're not sculpted. There's nothing there. They don't have lightsabers, so it's not like you need anything.
Well, if they do a 2.0, they can throw in kind of like the electric vibro staffs, kind of like what they are in the expanded universe. We didn't see them in action in the film, but they can take that aspect of the vibro staffs into play in the figure if they wanted to.
Here's a problem with that, though, right? As what you just pointed out, and same here, with the Evangelium, like wired robe or this or that. The problem with that is that you can't enhance a figure in 100% aspects that make it superior than the original. Right? Because what ends up happening is you've completely destroyed the value of said figure, right? A good example is this recent Iron Man Mark 46, right? That Iron Man came out, but it doesn't come with a head sculpt. And it doesn't come with the Captain America helmet. Right? That the original 46 came with. So the original 46 still holds some value, right?
The head sculpt, bow damage, yeah.
Right, whether it's monetary value or a personal value to that collector. So, it's the same as we talked about with Count Dooku. Like, I speculate maybe he will be 2.0'd. Well, if he's 2.0'd and you give him rolling eyes and a wired cape and a USB lightsaber, then Count Dooku that we have is worthless in every aspect.
But will you be disappointed, like Single Songwriter said right here, a DX Luke Skywalker variant for Return of the Jedi, but with rolling eyes per system?
No, because they would have to take something away, I think, that would differentiate between the 2 versions, I think. But I don't think they're going to do that anyway, because they gave us 2 Return of the Jedi Lukes already.
That's maybe the thing. They kept giving us Luke Skywalkers. Howie loves Luke Skywalker so much. He just keeps dropping Lukes. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a per system Luke Skywalker with USB powered green lightsaber. I wouldn't be surprised at that. Hell, they can drop a few more accessories with that set too if they wanted to. So
that's true. That is true. That is true, man. Hot's Hometown Hero, my man. Thank you so much. $5 super chat. That bomb coming through. He says, "That's a nice like button you have there. It would be a shame if someone smashed it." Yeah, guys, gonna hit that like button, man. We're probably gonna wrap it a little because I forget. I gotta do my posing show soon too. But
what time your posing show start?
in like 20 minutes. So I'm not even prepared. And my camera broke, so I'm shipping it out tomorrow. Something happened to my camera.
My computer just came back today, so now I gotta work on it to see how well it is. And so it did happen. The dude that came in to fix my computer broke the battery, so they had to replace the battery over there at Dell. And I'm like, son of a.
It's like you had one job.
One job, dude. Just one job.
I get that. Don't even get me started with people. I got so many complaints with UPS and FedEx and USPS. I know it's unrelated, but it's like, you got one job, deliver packages. How do you fuck that up?
Dude, I just showed it on the stream earlier on yesterday. No, today. Just today's stream, talking about DeLorean. I showed my double box, right? And it's like crushed up on a corner. Like crushed up in the corner of that box. But it's not the shipper. That's why I double box my stuff, because I don't want the shipper to get destroyed like that, because it'll destroy the figure inside. You know, most likely if it gets really messy. You know, so I showed them.
Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. The moral of the story is always double box, because UPS or FedEx or what have you, they're gonna play kickball with that box.
Oh yeah, well, and that's what I was going to lead to as just real quick, guys, because I'm on a crunch. We're going to talk about this real quick and then check the poll. But as far as this DeLorean's concerned, you know, they do this with these larger vehicles, right? Like the whole damn shipper box is a giant advertisement. So the first thing I thought was, I was like, great, that's a good way to have this get stolen. You know, if they drop it off, you know what I mean? It's not an unmarked box, right? It's straight up Back to the Future. I got to see if Sideshow double boxes that shit, because that's a big box.
There's no. My Tumblr was not double box, so
you had no option.
No option. I got $50 shipping though, but no option for double box.
Oh, hey Derek, my man, has got the Mafia hat. It's awesome. Thank you, brother. I don't know what hat you got. Let me know which. Well, I guess I can check. Did you get the Tales from the Dark Side hat or just the logo hat? Let me know, man. Appreciate the support though, brother. I actually need to get a logo hat. I just have my Dark Side hat. So, but dude, I love that shit, man. Yeah, guys, if you want some merch, man, there's a link right down there, man. I got all sorts of stuff going on, which is fun, but I do appreciate it, man. I do appreciate everybody who's been picking stuff up, man. It's been awesome. But Nate, yeah, I should probably wrap, brother, because yeah, I got to do the posing thing. Which is funny because
all good, man.
We got happy to be here, man. I came from Geeking Out to Mafia with Geeking Out to Mafia with Mario posing. Yep. I love this hobby, man. Appreciate it, brother. I do. Yeah, man, this has been really good though, man. We had a pretty
2 years in the making, though.
2 years in the making, completely unscripted, off the hook. Talking about all sorts of shit, good and bad, happy and sad, depressing and enlightening, and everything in between, man.
Yeah, off the racks, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know when I can get you back over here, man. But if you can do something on Tuesdays, man,
or maybe another Tuesday, we'll see.
Yeah, you know, we'll get some of the other folks on. You know, we'll shoot the shit about, you know, whatever it is, man. Could be figures, could be this type of stuff, could be whatever you guys want, man. Oh yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah, man.
Yep. What tomorrow? Day, you know? Tomorrow is Bad Batch episode 3. So I might do like a stream, a watch party in the morning. Ooh. We'll see.
Yeah. What else you got going on, man? If I listen, I highly doubt there's anybody in the chat right now who does not know who you are. But where can they find you?
Well, at Geekin Out, guys. GeeKinout. Geekin Out. I know it doesn't sound anything like six scale related, but that's how the channel started. Geeking Out. I was doing a whole lot of stuff before doing 1/6 scale figures. I was collecting Funko Pops, was gaming, and now I'm just doing 6 scale figures. But yeah, you find us there. We do streams on Wednesdays, and then any other day whenever a release happens, and then Sundays, Wednesdays and Sundays. I'm going to try and get back to that schedule again, 6 p.m. Eastern, streams. I might be doing a stream this morning in the 3 a.m. Eastern tonight. Depends if I had time to jump on and do like a watch party for Bad Batch. We'll see. But
yeah, that might be kind of fun. That might be kind of fun. Star Wars Universe says it drops in about 5 hours.
Yeah. That's the thing though. I need to set up my computer and see how well it's working. If it's working fine, I'll jump on and do a stream. We'll see.
No, that would be awesome. And Single Songwriter dropped link to Nate's
I appreciate
channel.
that.
If you guys haven't checked him out, please do. Nate's awesome.
Yeah, Single Songwriter,
He's
he's the GOAT, man.
He is, man. I love that guy. I love everybody here, man. It's been great. So we're gonna wrap, guys. Honestly, if you guys want to tune in, that's what I'm gonna be doing right now. Tonight's guest is gonna be Leo, 1/6 scale man. So he's gonna be posing the Iron Man comic book origins figure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then Mario's gonna be posing Bo-Katan. You know, she's fairly new. A lot of people, you know, might want to see how she functions, you know, especially with her single joints and whatnot. So that'll be fun. And I'm working on Captain Sisko from Deep Space Nine. So if you guys do come, bring a figure, right? Hang out with us. We just chill. We're gonna do that for a couple hours, and then that's it, man. But Nate, it's awesome to have you, brother. I know you'll be back when we have time.
Oh yeah, I finally got here after 2 years, so let's milk it.
2025, guys, for the sequel. We're out of here. Peace out.